Good evening, folks, and welcome to the regular Ordinance Committee meeting. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So sorry for the few minute delay. We did have to wait out the previous meeting. Have any adjustments to the agenda at this time, correct, Martin? Correct. Public to speak on non-agenda items.
Is that me?
Unless you're here to talk about an agenda item.
I don't have an agenda, so I don't know what's on the agenda.
We'll be talking about sign ordinance,
Yeah.
at which we will also mention, we received some correspondence from
Me,
you, yeah.
okay,
So that is all agenda item.
yeah, okay.
Did you have anything outside of the sign ordinance or the
No.
dark web? Perfect, so when we get to that, I will.
You can follow me.
I sure will.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll review the minutes of the July 17th organizational meeting. And I entertain a motion.
Will we accept the organizational meeting minutes as presented?
Second?
Motion by Scott, second by Carolyn. Any discussion? All those in favor? That is unanimous. And the regular meeting minutes from July 17th.
Second?
Motion by Val, second by Carolyn. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Anyone abstaining? Anyone opposed? It's okay. That is unanimous. I didn't see the hand, so I wanted to offer, All right, correspondence.
Only what's in the packet, you also received Scott, information on our meeting that is being honored.
It helps compare lumens and nits and which.
Thank you.
Letter, it says challenge sign ordinance. What was the challenge? What is that about?
Oh, the sign ordinance, so. Are we addressing this memo as correspondence, we think? Okay. So let's take up a memo as correspondence. So it has come to our attention that under the current ordinance, that there is some language that is ambiguous and created, thank you, Scott. There is some language that is ambiguous and has created conflict, which is receiving pushback. How much of that can we?
So part of it was just the vagueness of some of the definitions, so that's where the biggest issue was lying. It was the noise real estate agency sign. They were challenging size limits and what is a logo, what is a brand. So it was something that was definitely coming up with the legal counsel.
Did we address it? Cause you changed a lot.
So we did change a lot. We included logo, which wasn't previously included. We tried to kind of hit those bullet points that we thought were pretty important. It's my understanding that the Board of Selectmen are recommending that what we've done to this point get in front of the attorney. Now, it's for them to review what we've done to date. It is not going to have any bearing on what's currently sitting in front of the zoning board of appeals.
Right.
because it's based on the current ordinance. So I'm not 100% sure I understand why they want what we've done already, other than maybe they just want it looked at to make sure we're addressing what's currently being
Right.
targeted at the zoning board of appeals. So they're just asking if we're good with that, so if it.
Well, my only question is, I mean, lawyers cost money and we have, we're gonna look at it when we finish everything, so why look at it twice and pay them twice?
I think that might be covered by the retainer portion of
Okay.
what we,
Okay.
I think.
Good
And,
question.
oh no, that was a
That's it.
completely valid question, yeah, we don't wanna get whacked twice for the
Twice
same
for the same
review,
stuff, yeah.
for the same review, so if everyone's good with that, I mean, I understand, I think I understand the premise behind it.
I just want to be clear about that.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the noise, big noise letters on the new building up across from Magic? Okay, that would be in excess of 25 square feet.
It's in excess of the size of this,
Right.
it's also, there was a dispute over what should be included in that size, because they said the logo shouldn't be, whether that's an actual logo. So it got shot down in zoning board did deny his appeal, but it's something that was very, it was hammered on and hammered on and hammered on, and they went on and on about it, so it's something that Kristen probably needs to take a look at and see if we've addressed it enough as we've done.
I would say it's a good for us, let's just let them look at it, and if the lawyer says, well, no, they're knowing what the other issues were, then we can come back. We spent time ourselves
Mhm.
haggling over logo and some of those things, so it would be good to have a lawyer look at it. And if they think it's good, I would say, let's go with it and leave it at that.
So since it says with the committee's permission, I would ask for a motion and a second to send the sign ordinance as currently amended to the town attorney.
That we've amended.
Yes.
As of 7/17.
Yes.
Yes.
Including all the illumination stuff.
Right.
Yes, it is, it's what's in front of us, it is
Yeah.
this,
Newest thing you handed out.
Yes.
Well, I would move that we pass it on, let the lawyer look at it to give us that feedback.
Mhm. Second.
motion by Scott to send the edits as of 7/17/2024 to the town
Yes.
attorney for review.
So is that to assume that?
And that was, I'm so sorry, second by Nancy. What was that here?
This is,
This is assuming if we are making that motion, excuse me, then that's stating if we vote for that we are in agreement, that we approve of what we've, of what has already been,
Yes.
is in front of us. With no
We
more
did
changes.
do that.
And what's in front of us is what you guys have approved of,
Yeah,
to
right,
the
okay.
7/17
To
date,
date.
Seventeen, seventeen.
to the 7/17, the last meeting that we had. This is everything that Marty updated it, she included everything.
All of these motions that were made during that
Yeah,
meeting.
No, I get that. So
Okay.
what we're saying then is tonight, we're not making further adjustments to.
No, we could.
No, we could. This is the version that's gonna go to the attorneys.
Okay.
So they can look at what they want from here. We'll get their feedback. We can still work on this
We
document.
can keep moving forward.
Yeah.
This is a fluid document.
Yes.
As
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
not just because it goes to the attorney.
Right.
And may come back approved, doesn't mean we are not further.
Yeah, we're not sending it as our final draft.
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
a specific thing they're looking for.
Yes.
We don't know what that is. So we're basically saying, okay, you tell us if this addresses your issue. And if they say it addresses your issue, then we say, okay. And if they say no, then we're gonna have to do some
Yes, if
more
they
work.
say it needs to be more strict, if they say it needs to be more specific, if-
Right.
and
They being.
The attorney.
The attorney.
just the attorney.
Right.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you so much for that, Hardy. Good. And then the other piece of correspondence. I thought I saw it. What did I do with it? Was from Miss Linda.
Yeah.
There it is. I know it's here somewhere. I'm so sorry, Linda.
Not a problem.
Oh, it's flipping through. Okay, so Linda, it looks like you provided some suggested language as it supports the dark sky. Is that what I understand here?
That is correct. In order for the sign ordinance to meet the parameters of dark sky, with the intent of getting approved as a community, this language needs to be in the ordinance. There's a lot there.
So this is suggested language to qualify under the dark sky.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is, and there's really not a lot of room for movement on it as far as dark sky is concerned. I basically took the language they require for sign ordinances and put it in here where I thought it was appropriate in what you've got so far. But, no, if the town of Rangeley wants to get approval to be a dark sky community, this is basically what we need to do.
And what are the benefits to dark sky designation? I'm just curious, are we entitled to grant funding or?
It's, I guess what is, the biggest benefit is going to be, tourism. And just plain protecting the dark sky. I don't think anyone, there's a lot of people that wanna be able to just go outside and see the stars. And the more light we create, the less likely that is to happen, certainly over a period of time. And the way the development is going around here. So we're working on, we've got a light ordinance, and that needs to be tweaked as well, and I've worked on the planning board with that. But, signs are part of the requirements for getting approval. So the town committed to, becoming a dark sky community. I have a letter from the town manager stating that the Board of Selectmen voted to support the community status, the application.
Are we not considered a dark sky right now, dark sky destination?
We are not considered a dark sky
Because I
destination.
know I have like pamphlets that say dark sky, and advertising that we're a dark sky destination.
Well, you could advertise that kind of thing, but you haven't got the certification from the.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
this is
So they're advertising.
official recognition
Official.
by the International Dark Sky Association.
You could do as a community as much or as little of this, but let's say you want to be there, you could come. You can say, we're gonna go this far and no further, but you're still helping dark skies, which you're not dark sky compliant. So that's the thing, is where do you draw the line?
Right.
Officially, or are we going to agree in principle, but there may be something, I think that's what we have to figure out is, and if we say, yes, we're gonna go full dark sky, then this is where it is. If we say, well, I have a question with a few of them, but we're going to try to comply as much, so that's the issue for us to, settle on.
The question on the last page in number small double I. It says internally, the important sign cannot be white, green, off-white, light tan, or any light color. But even if you have it's, how are you gonna have any writing on the sign if part of it can't be white or light color? Because it's always a contrast between the letters and the background. It's gotta be able to be part of it, it's gotta be one of those colors. It doesn't specify as the background of the color, it says.
Right, and it looks like the majority of this is based on internally illuminated signs. Is that what I'm getting? Most of the information that you put in here?
Yeah, it's like
Addresses
those
signs
things
that
we
we-
saw, the electronic signs.
So signs that we didn't currently address yet.
Right,
Okay,
Right.
which is the good thing when it came to us
Well, I
now.
just like
Well, that's why I
We're
wanted to
working
get it.
on it.
I guess I just want clarification wherever wrote this little thing from the That
Yeah,
if
that
you
makes-
have a sign, it's gotta have some contrast, otherwise you just have a black sign. You gotta
Yeah,
have
right.
a sign with some letters on it, it's gotta have some.
And Linda, where
Amber.
did we get? Anything that's in red, I assume you pulled directly from some type of
I pulled it directly
compliance
from that.
manual or,
I pulled it from the dark sky, requirements for the sign.
I'm just saying,
Or baby.
if you can ask whoever that is, how do you possibly have a sign at all if part of it can't be light enough color to be able to be read?
No, I see what you're talking about here, but it also says, that it's permitted in a registered logo, and that sort of
So
thing.
the only thing you
So,
could have would be a logo, you couldn't have words saying, you know.
internally,
I think we probably need to get that document so we can,
Because, yeah.
Or get an example of what they
right,
mean.
but I
I'm sure they
think
have
we
examples.
could get that
An
document.
example of a permitted sign.
Yeah,
Right, that would be fair.
Right, so I would move that we,
Some.
as a committee, acquire the
Example.
source of this information, so that we can
I
then,
can do that.
and then we could pursue any of those questions, and we could ask those, I mean, it's not fair to Linda, because
No, I know
she, you know, she's not the one who wrote that
No,
document, so.
no, But I
you know,
think the intent is that they don't want a sign that's got a white background.
Right.
And we've all
Right.
already realized that that's not gonna work anyway.
Right.
So I'll talk to Dark Sky and ask them.
That's why I say, I think some of this
Yeah.
might be more intent versus letter of, you know,
Right,
we're trying, so we may have to tweak it, that's what I'm saying, there may be some tweaks, and
Yeah.
we're doing our best to comply, but if we, oh, well, you know, so
Yeah,
that's where it comes down for us, is how
right,
does it fit our community?
right.
And I think it's important too to, remember what Linda told us, that we've already agreed to be a, dark sky compliant town, so it's incumbent on us to make sure that we kind of, go in that direction.
I know,
We are advertising, because I have a guest who said, you know.
It's not a
here
question
for the
of-
dark sky. which
But
is-
we'll handle.
You know, kind of.
yeah, and just for the purpose of clarifying the language, we've agreed to support dark
Right.
sky.
Right.
Yeah,
That's different
I
than,
mean, that's different than being dark sky compliant. We
what
agreed to support dark sky in the community.
I'd like to know the difference between that.
there's a big difference
There's a
between
huge-
supporting
yeah.
and being compliant, because we don't have that.
we
So
What
may,
did we agree to as a
I
select
don't,
board?
yeah. I'll bring the copy of the letter that you wrote.
Okay, that'd be great.
And I
Then
think
you have a
my-
copy of the letter. of
Yeah,
support
I
that was
have
sent,
like
yeah.
each folder.
That would be perfect if we could see that as well.
Yeah,
I'd also want to know whether we could be more restrictive than what is already on.
Well, of
here.
course we can, because we have home rule authority. So
Okay.
that's,
yeah,
yeah,
and Dark Sky.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And there was, on that, under your general provisions, number 4, Roman numeral 4, it says that the luminous or illuminated surface area of an individual sign must not exceed 200 square feet. Well, that's pretty,
That's big.
That's true.
that's a
Yeah.
big sign.
Well, your ordinance
restrictive.
itself is,
20
the
nights.
sign is.
32.
Yeah,
32.
right, it's less than that, so,
Right, okay,
um,
so we can.
Yeah, so all you've done, Linda, is pulled together the language that would be required to be dark sky compliant. We can
Correct.
then take that language into consideration when either making it more restrictive or going with that.
right.
Thank you for giving us that information. If you don't mind, it sounds like we would like to acquire the source of the
Yep.
language and a copy of that letter. I
I
hate to designate a member of the public to do that, but
no, I mean, this is my job actually, so I'm the Dark Sky, whatever they.
if that is something that you
Coordinator.
are able to do for us, that would be fantastic.
I will.
And if you could get it to Marty prior to our next meeting so that she could then email the information to us, so that we'd have the opportunity to review it before
I'll get it,
the
oh,
end.
you're not open on Friday, so I'll get it to you.
Yeah, because if I have it in my inbox, I'm gonna.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I can even email it to you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Um.
What else did we have for?
I gave them some information on lighting that I'm saying. The reason I did that, I know that they use NICS, and that's a newer term because it's dealing with the background illumination, so. But, even though I was an engineer, NICS are a fairly new term. And most of my background and most of my personal experiences, I compare things to an incandescent light bulb, usually how old I am, because that's what we compared everything to. So I went out and tried to compare, how many nits is, and so I found some rough numbers, and these are rough, but basically, that's what that is all about. I was
Yeah.
trying to,
Okay.
so a 40-watt light bulb, if you look at the last page, produces around 450 lumens. And if you do the math, and it's one lumen is, one nit is 3.42 lumens, so that's about 131 nits. So this is what one of my concerns was, they're saying that, they're using 100 nits as their standard. But that means that it's dimmer than a 40-watt bulb, so I have to go back to incandescence, because I mean, that's, so I'm not saying that's good or bad, but I'm trying to, look at that, so I don't view a 40-watt bulb as being extremely.
It's what's in your refrigerator, it's very dim.
Right, and so that's what I'm saying, so when they're talking 100 nits, they're talking something that's got that brightness of a 40-watt incandescent light bulb, actually a little less than that. I had to have that to make my basis on.
Yeah,
When the gentleman was here, I don't know if you guys realize that he set the sign originally at 7,500. And when he cranked it all the way down, he only took it down to 750, so we reduced it by a fact, so it would still have to go lower than what was there.
And that would be fun.
Well, my point is, I don't know if it can, we didn't ask that, because
Oh,
at the
no,
time,
I
we
asked
didn't
that.
know what the numbers were, he just took it down to 750, so I would kind of like to see one of those, truthfully, I'd like to see one at a 100 nits, to see what it looks like, because if that's the number we're working with, I want to have an idea of what is that, like I said, I can compare it to an incandescent bulb, and I'm saying, okay, so about a 40-watt light bulb, approximately, give or take, okay, and how far can I see? So that's why I gave this out, because I needed something to latch
Yeah.
onto that wasn't.
and that's how I can, that's what I'm familiar with,
Right.
incandescent.
So,
But now the difference though, between thinking about a 40-watt bulb in a room, you wouldn't be able to read by it. If you're talking about a 40-watt bulb behind a sign in darkness.
right, on,
It'll show up like,
what I'm just saying, it's just, I have to have something
Yeah.
to,
right,
I have to have a number, otherwise nits are,
oh, right,
okay, I know it's based on the amount of illumination per square foot, I get all that, but it doesn't help me,
right.
in my everyday.
Could we ask the watch fire guy, he's not gonna make a script, can you take a picture or a video of it?
Or maybe there's a place where they have that,
Is there some place?
maybe.
Well, wait a
We
minute,
still
what
have to
is,
travel to.
can I ask you a
know
question?
somebody.
Hmm.
If you took a picture of it at night,
What
Can you
is
see
the
that sign?
one that, Builder Supply, did they put in a message board? about
yeah, but I
this?
don't know how many down it is.
Oh,
Right.
Well,
They
my,
haven't taken it down, they have it covered,
my question was,
they've
if
covered it
that's,
with their old sign.
if that's one that we could ask, that, could you put this at 100?
Right.
Then we could see what, that's what I'm saying,
Right,
this
yeah.
one that's right here in town, we could actually see it without having to go and, do something.
Ask Virginia.
If it's-
Turns
Or,
down
or
like
what
that.
is, maybe the bowling alley also has a number of.
This is,
I got a feeling
there's just a different
it
type of
doesn't
sign.
say that on the dial. I think you need a gun to point at it that registers what it is what I think it is. I haven't tried to find a gun online to go around and like check things. I can't believe such a thing exists. I keep looking it up and rephrasing it all different ways. Somebody can search better than me.
You'd probably find it, it'll probably do it in lumens, and then you're gonna have to do the
The only
conversion
ones I
back.
could find, camera,
Yeah.
photographers, which I don't think is the right thing.
Well, I can also ask, Avon now has the town office
I know that.
at the
What
construction
there
site.
is that at? You go by.
Yeah, because that looks exactly like the sign that we saw the demo on. So I'll pop in there
Okay,
and talk to them about that sign and adjustments and everything else. You know, it's not horrible looking
Right.
electronic sign. I guess it depends on how you set it up. you
Right.
know?
but yeah, it'd be nice to know, because we all.
I'll stop in there and see what they have, and maybe we can ask them to adjust it down to 100.
But it'd be at night, you know, the whole
Well,
night,
that's
daytime.
fine.
you can see
Fine,
all.
second.
Huh? Yeah, right.
International Dark Sky Community Designation Guidelines.
We have it already?
I have it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like, I had it attached to something.
yeah, well, I don't know if I might have given you a copy.
Yeah.
You know, 8 meetings ago, something like that.
Okay.
It was attached to
Yeah,
the watchfire stuff, so you gave it to me the night of that meeting.
yes,
Oh.
I think I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
I sort of remember that.
Well, there you go, there.
You have it too?
The back of the one. I had-
Yeah, on the back of the watchfire stuff.
Oh, there it is.
We have that.
Well, actually, no, I think you've got more of it.
I don't think
You,
so.
I
I
don't
don't
think
have
we
that.
do, I think you do it. as well.
Mine is not up.
Well, I will go through and send you the documentation that I extracted my letter from.
There. Okay, and then, any other questions for Linda this evening? Thank you so much for your willingness to get that information together, of course, I appreciate it. Scott, thank you for this packet.
Hopefully it helps.
Nancy. Does everybody else have correspondence from Nancy? Or is that all that I moved somewhere else?
Should I? It's the July 17th meeting, so I don't know if this has ever come by then. I couldn't make that meeting, so.
Okay.
I can't even find one of those.
So do you mind if I read your correspondence into the record, just so everybody has it clear?
Yeah.
It looks like, Nancy emailed on August 28th.
No. That's.
Oh, yeah, there's the- oh, okay, yeah, 7, okay. I don't.
You did like the sign,
Yes.
took a picture of it as you left. Hope that there can be a way to dim the lights as needed for light noise.
Yeah, just like you were talking about, because it was so bright, I didn't get to see it and get them down, I had to leave, so.
And the mainly Land Use Planning Commission proposed chapter 2 and chapter 10 rule revisions, lighting and lighted sign standards on page 5, letter E, suggestion, can we add the word safety to the end of the first sentence? And of course, what did I do with that? It's maybe good, I don't have to.
Well, we don't, it's the land use planning commission.
Yeah, she wants us to add the language to ours though, don't you? Is that what you were
Yes.
saying?
That's what I signed.
She's asking us to add,
I see all the.
at least that's how I read it, I'm sorry if that was
Yes,
not.
that it's all lighting and, exterior lighting and, just wanted to make sure that there was something to relate to that we're lighting, but we're doing it for security as well as safety.
Which
It mentions security, but it doesn't mention safety. That was a suggestion that I had.
So on our document.
But then I find the lost
That we
copy.
add.
Taking it out.
Yeah. And I don't have it somewhere. Right there. Okay. Page 5.
Something there, the right one.
In addition to lighting standards, will also comply with standards in section. So did you have an area in hours that you wanted to add that to, Nancy? Is
I just wanted to make sure that when we were talking about security, we were talking about safety, because lights were being referenced. Not only for brightness, but for security purposes, at least having lighting, but that it's also for safety. That was, I mean, and that's what I'm saying, if it's overcome by events, then.
All right, so is it safe to say that when we're talking about security, you'd also like to make sure we include safety?
Yes, please, that's all I'm saying.
Perfect.
So that we're not negligent, we were just saying, security, walking safety.
I'm just trying to make sure.
I was just wondering, I mean, there's a lot here to process and, you know, work through. Maybe we could just get a general feel for where people are at and then plan on, when we come back again, making some real headway, because I would like to go through some of this. I know I visited, Janet and I were 2 years ago on Flagstaff on sabbatical, and they're a dark skies community, and I have to be honest, when I visited Walmart, I didn't like it because I thought the parking lot, I didn't feel it was like safe. That was just me, okay, but I mean, I'm one of these who has to have, my eyes are such that I need bright light. My eyes don't function well in low light. And so it was just my observation, and that I felt like the parking lot was very dark. And I didn't, from a safety standpoint, I just wasn't, you know, I don't know, it was just one of those things, that's my own observation on it. Maybe it's something I get used to, I don't know, as we don't have any things like that in our community that I'm aware of that require that, but I just, you know, it's like, wow,
What would
that's.
that do to like the lighting in the parking area for Sarges? I'm only trying to bring up somewhere that has a significant amount of lighting after hours.
Well, like, isn't it like, isn't all that lighting street lighting?
I don't know.
No, I
I
think
think
they have
all-
halogens.
And Sarge,
Charges, I think all that need those streetlights, and the same with the
Yeah.
IGA parking lot has its own lights.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
Yeah.
parking area, I don't know.
The IGA, but when the IGA is closed, the lights, well, no,
No,
the
the
gas
lights are
station,
on.
because the gas station, the pumps are open.
I
so-
think when
Yeah.
Because the pumps are open 24/7.
The ones in the parking lot,
They do go out,
ones in the
Parking
parking
lot
lot.
lights would go out, but the ones at the.
Pumps stay on.
Yeah.
right?
right.
Yeah, which is.
That's
yeah,
okay.
That's fine.
Okay, I think this is what I was referencing, is the land use planning commission lighting and
Yes.
light signs, May 2024 draft. And it was E and you know, basically saying, where it's, the second sentence says, for commercial industry and other non-residential development, all non-essential lighting must be turned off after business hours, leaving only the minimal necessary lighting for site security. Then I want to say, and safety. That's what I was getting.
But
That-
we don't, that, I mean, that's work.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
I know.
The
I'm
intent was
saying-
to include it in hours.
Put it in hours. Security and safety for everything. Because just as you're saying, Scott, you go to a parking lot and it's, as you get older, your eyes don't work as well and the dimmer the light, you can't see. You don't know what's on.
So we all have. We have a clean document. We have the suggested language for dark skies. We all also have the only reason the land use planning stuff was brought in front of us was because they were working on it at the same time. I thought it made sense for us to kind of look at what the state was doing, how they were playing with everything. Sorry for your poor choice of words. Playing, that is not what I meant.
Well, they do.
So I almost wonder if at this point, so we've moved this as it is to go in front of the attorneys for their review. so they can make sure that we've kind of hit the bullet points that they think are necessary based on recent activity. Is everybody?
So, can I ask one question?
Yeah,
The places you've recommended, for instance, I'm looking at section 38.10.6 general provisions, that's referencing ours, and you're recommending that we slide these pieces in here. My only question is, you say paragraph F, and I don't see a paragraph F in
Okay,
310.
which one do we?
I'm looking at ours here, and you have,
Oh, there,
re-add all,
You looking at the current town code?
I'm looking at our current one, and I'm looking at hers, and she's saying that in section 38.10.6 general provisions, which is what it is in ours.
yeah,
And then she said, .3, I found that, add the section, and then paragraph F, and that's what I'm struggling with, is I don't see paragraph
okay.
F. I mean, because we've done things as numbers, that's my,
so I wonder if paragraph F was actually in reference to, look at this, it's in reference to the International Dark Sky Community Designation Guidelines, because that's what she wants us to insert. in paragraph F.
that's fine. So, you want us to insert paragraph F into on the 3, that makes sense, I was just trying to figure out where you wanted us to put it in, that was what I was trying to, where you were suggesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I figured it out.
that's a reference to the guidelines.
Okay, that's fine,
Okay, yeah,
but so you want
Sorry.
paragraph F from that to be put into us,
yeah,
Yeah.
all of this,
Okay.
right,
that's,
all the red, so, right.
we may or may not, but I was trying to figure out where you were.
Yeah, I know,
referencing,
sorry,
and
that
that's fine.
wasn't,
Now I see what you're,
Done.
I understand, okay, thank you.
all right, well, thanks for asking that. Probably the regular window meeting.
Okay, so this is my dark sky stuff, this is the lighting stuff from Scott, and this is the land use planning stuff. This is the current clean copy. Okay, we've reviewed, we've all looked at the clean drafts. Notes provided by Linda regarding dark skies, Nancy Douglas's response, oh, look at that, ha, it was all in it, sorry. I'm sorry, Marmy, I went out of order on the agenda, I apologize.
I'll do it again.
So it sounds like everybody feels like we're in a good spot though for homework.
Yes.
Is that where everybody's comfortable? Is that we're kind of at the homework phase of this?
Yep.
Carolyn?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we'll take all of the information that's been provided this evening. We'll wait for the additional information from Marty. We don't have any new business, right? Okay. Next meeting, possible dates. What's the 6th look like for everybody?
The only question about that is because it is
The day after election. That's gonna be a bear for you.
So I didn't know how much it
Yeah.
was. So I guess I think there's too many sellers on that, but there's too much.
Hey, you have machines.
There's too much of it tonight, so.
I mean, I can do the 6th, I can do
Shoot. Okay, so the 6th or the 20th are November ones. What's everybody's?
Either one.
No, I think it makes sense to,
either.
with both of you being impacted on the 6th.
Do the 20th.
let's go with the 20th.
I mean, what
That's
that
a-
is, homework.
Yeah, and it gives us plenty of time to
This is
get all the
basically
information.
a month to
Okay.
find information.
Okay. So we will schedule the next one for November 20th at 5 PM. Nancy, does that work for you?
I won't be here. Thank you.
Thanksgiving week.
Yes, thank you, Scott.
Oh, when is Thanksgiving?
Well, Thanksgiving,
Week
Thanksgiving's the weekend.
Next week.
Yeah, if it was the week of
Okay,
Thanksgiving, that'd be a,
Yeah.
that'd be a no-go.
Wednesday,
And I bring food.
Yeah, Thanksgiving's the next week.
No problem at all.
Edna,
Yes, dear.
could I ask for clarification on
Of
one
course,
of these
yes.
definitions?
Are we on our current clean copy?
Yes,
Okay.
number 4 or 5, whichever gets to tenant. And I'll read any lightweight plastic, fabric, or other material, whether or not containing a message of any kind, suspended from a rope, wire, or string, usually in a series, designed to move in a wind. I'm confused about whether it would be a string of, things like that, or whether it's like this, that comes up and has a sign, whatever.
Both things.
Is it both? It would cover both? You see what I'm?
How did we cover those flag signs?
We called them animated.
Those are message, no, that's a message flag, that's different.
The
than-
message
The
flag. I
message
think,
flag,
is-
it's not.
The ones that stand up and
Stands
say
on
copy.
pole, you know, if you look, the message
So-
flag, a piece of fabric
But a
displayed on a
message,
pole attached to a structure.
but it doesn't have to be, according to
Structure.
this, attached to a structure. Because it could be stuck
out
in the
front
ground,
of
Stuck in the
which they
ground, that's-
usually are.
Yeah, that's true.
So we either amend
So message
that
flag
or
is-
clarify.
Yeah, that's true, very good.
What would we call one of those signs that
Okay.
says copy?
And
Do
the,
you know which one she's
The
talking about,
ones that
right?
have it's instead of sticking on the side of the building, it's got a weight. and
Yeah,
just sits on the
so,
side.
yeah.
Right,
hot dogs or whatever.
yeah, whatever it's saying.
I only keep saying copy because they're the ones I
Well,
see.
like the
That's
farmers,
all
the
that-
farmers market uses one. with
And a lot of them,
Ecological says gifts.
yes,
Okay,
a lot of
Yeah.
them is, coming about.
Yeah.
And also I didn't know where those, signs with the balloon kind of guy.
Those are-
Yeah, there's-
Although we call those animated.
Yeah, those are not allowed,
I know, but,
the sky dancers, and we did specifically put that name in there.
We didn't believe that, but we
I
said.
look at the,
For
there's
this
not,
house,
I know, but if you see what we're referring to, sign animate, a sign employing actual motion, the illusion of motion or light and or color changes achieved through mechanical electrical. Okay,
Yeah, I
and
didn't.
that is the.
because it uses a blower, that's
Right.
mechanical means.
Okay, so that's that, right?
That word opposed to something that's just waving in the wind is.
Right. So,
so we need to assign a name
two,
to the standing flag things.
yes, that is on a pole with a piece of light.
And then decide,
It could be stuck in the ground.
decide if we're, I mean, if we call it a message flag or a pennant, then we need to make the adjustment to either of those definitions for it, otherwise it needs,
A separate.
yeah.
I mean, I think there's a name for those things if you buy them, but we should just call it what it's
All
called.
right, let's put that on the homework.
Need to, I need to assign a name. and then it doesn't-
Actually,
You can buy them, you go to sign places, they call it something. It's a specific thing.
But it's in two different spots in our ordinance and someone could be confused.
Yeah.
If we're going to allow them.
They're called windless banners.
Windless
Windless banners.
Well, then we need a
Windless
classification.
banners.
In other words, they try to read them, even when there's no.
Windless banner flag, or windless banners.
because it's held rigid.
The only reason I did that's because the taco truck that.
There you go.
got one, so.
Windless banner.
Windless banner flag
Okay.
or windless banner.
So would that be that
Or
next
horrible
meeting,
flag. Yeah, we can talk about how, where
we're
we.
looking where.
Yeah, I think it has to, has to,
Yeah, that's a good
yeah,
catch.
nice catch. Tom might be their homework.
So wouldn't that fall under banner then?
But what do we do?
Windless
If you look at it.
banner, is it a banner or a flag?
Oh.
Not material or.
Well,
But
the way I read that, Marty, I see that as like, this is a banner. Like, that's like, race today, or, this kind of thing, where they have a message right here, and it's pointing to what we're writing. What our ordinance says,
Yeah, but,
because it says a sign of lightweight flexible fabric
or
or similar material that is mounted to a pole or building at one or more edges.
So, yeah,
But it's attached to a pole.
Right.
Building.
attached to a pole or bill,
Or
so we actually have that.
But
ordinance.
wouldn't that be that race today or kind of thing, wouldn't that be a banner? Not so much one of those,
They both fit the definition.
I was gonna say, I think we're qualifying them both under
They
the
both fit
definition of it.
definition. The
right?
definition is
it fit under.
Any
both,
sign
fit
of
under-
lightweight flexible fabric or similar material that is mounted to a pole.
I mean, I think of the banners when they say Art in the Park Day or
Right.
something. You know, it's like
Yes.
3x5.
A banner that goes like this.
Right, it's got from
This
the
is
corner.
The
you got that
definition
part.
of this.
Well, that's not, but that's not how we define it, that's what I'm saying, so we go by
Right.
what's, we go
I
by
mean,
what's in
we
the
fix our
code.
definitions.
And I also would question whether we shouldn't put a limit to how large a banner.
Yes, there's no size limit.
There's no size limit, and how long.
We did talk about.
We did talk about
We had
that.
a huge discussion.
I know, I think there's a size thing somewhere. It says it like 3x5 somewhere. It used to anyway, once we took it out back.
Small, if we go across the street. Anyway.
Okay.
Yes, you took it out last couple of meetings.
The size of the banner.
The length of time of the last meeting.
So you can have a banner across.
We removed banners and pennants from the last meeting, at the last meeting. We removed that entire paragraph.
Right,
And
so if you go to 38:7,
Because it was defined as exempted.
yes, there was some conflict there, and it was,
Anyway, yes, we have homework to do.
because part of that was it was saying a sign permit is required for each use, and you said that was a little bit. The sign permit required the whole, you gotta give us more of a permanent sign, you've gotta give a site plan, you've gotta get a picture, and it's like, this is a temporary banner that's gonna be hanging on a railing for 2 weeks, I mean, this, so it was really
Did we-
overkill.
But did we have that banners were limited to a certain time?
It was originally, that it was, the size was limited. Time was different in two different places. So we had a long discussion about it. I don't know how we got there.
Okay.
But the problem was the time was conflicting even within the ordinance.
Okay, so we all have homework, including the new information that was provided by Carolyn. Thank you so much for bringing all of that up. And at this point, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Val, second by Scott. I was thinking Linda was gonna do that for a minute.
Well,
Any further? That was
I
all
was
the
thinking-
debate. All those in favor. Nancy in favor of that?
The only non-debatable motion.
Yep.
Motion.
Yes, sir.
You can vote it down, but you can't do it.